What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Remy, and I got a nice, funny, and enjoying video for you guys today, because when a bunch of dum-dums and people that are very hypocritical and not willing to actually stand on principle, they just care about race and injecting their race into every little thing and how race is all that it's important, decided to come out here and begin a Genshin Impact and Hoyoverse boycott over the new characters being put out for the Nautilin expansion. They were saying that it's all racist and bad and awful and how horrible it is, and there was an entire campaign that initiated, and you see it right here with a Hoyoverse boycott, and how they openly admit to doing everything they always accuse us of doing and what they should be doing with this boycott. And you see the do's and don'ts: review, bum, like, and retweet, share posts from us, share posts from BIPOC, spread the word, tell a friend, encourage others to speak up, respond to surveys, la. Yeah, the full-on hate campaign. I'm utilizing their words because that's what they like to accuse us of doing for Hoyoverse, because of Nautilin characters that they said were racist and too white. Because you come over here and see this, all these are your new Nautilin characters for a imaginary world that does take inspiration on the clothing and the area itself from Africa, South America, indigenous cultures, Native American cultures, whatever. And all the people here are racist because they're not black, even though it's a made-up world with made-up characters, and their only argument is really this guy right here called Oran, who is supposedly based off of an African guy, like deity, called Ran. Completely different name, completely different character, completely different person. But all this was racist, guys, and you even had Genshin Impact like voice actors come out here and stand up in favor of the boycott and say that it's all racist, and all these people are like LA individuals and work in LA. You had one dude who's Vietnamese but has lived and worked in LA for more than he's ever lived in Vietnam. It's been a weird situation on the amount of virtue signaling that just kept coming out from these people. And this boycott has been raging now for almost half a month, going on maybe a month, something like that. It's been very interesting to see this all happen and all take place. Well, it really hasn't been doing much, because Hoyoverse boycott completely fails as Zenless Zone Zero makes nearly $100 million in July, and Hoyoverse revenues increased by nearly 10%. Yeah, so Hoyoverse released a brand new game roughly in July, maybe June, it was one of the two, called Zenless Zero, and it blew up. It became this massive hit, made them a buttload of money, and they're like, yeah, they're succeeding. Like, their revenue's going up. They're getting more money. Hoyoverse keeps growing across the board on almost every single game because the people that play these games don't care. Like, this whole thing that's going on here is a very Western-centric frame set that they're trying to impose on a game from the East. Like I pointed out, the one voice actor who's Vietnamese, he's lived in LA most of his life. His whole worldview is built on the LA worldview, and he thinks he needs to export that to the rest of the world, when the actual player base for this game are mainly Japanese, Vietnamese, Chinese, Taiwanese people. And it's been such a funny situation because now, in light of their failures, they're doubling down and saying they're gonna work harder. Genshin Impact and Hoyoverse boycotters rage in light of their failures. They're doubling down and saying they're gonna try harder to get people to quit playing this game. Genshin Impact and Hoyoverse boycotters rage and promise to escalate efforts after company revenue increase nearly 10% despite their boycott. It's so funny. So we scroll down here. According to Gacha Revenue, Hoyoverse's newly released game Zenless Zone Zero ranked in a total of $99.8 million in revenue for the month of July. It also brought in $40.3 million from Honoke Star Rail and another $37.3 million from Genshin Impact. Between the three games, Hoyoverse grossed $177.4 million. In comparison, Hoyoverse grossed a total of $163 million between Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact in June. Thus, the company saw its revenues increase 8.8 between June and July. If you go back to May, it looks even better. Hoyoverse grossed $144 million between Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. July grosses are 23% higher than May. They're doing fine. This Western-centered boycott is failing because the rest of the world doesn't think this way. Wokies and the rest, there's probably woke people in all the rest of the world, but they don't have the power because normal people that play these games don't think this way. They're smart enough to realize that all this is bullcrap. One bit of it is bullcrap, but we scroll down. We're just getting started. The boycott isn't going anywhere until we achieve our goal. We will keep escalating until Hoyoverse stop whitewashing and provide authentic representation in their games. Remember to keep boycotting and talking about the petition. Hashtag representation matters. Boycott Hoyoverse. Don't forget to sign the petition if you haven't yet. Oh, wonderful. And you're just seeing they're doing exactly what they accuse us of doing. They only care, though, about race. They don't actually care about this, okay? They don't care about representation. They don't care one little bit about what's actually going on here. And let me tell you why. I've argued with a few of these people on my last Genshin Impact video. I asked them, point blank, if you care so much about this, representation matters, accuracy matters, cultural appreciation matters, so on and so forth, why does this not extend then to Assassin's Creed Shadows, to, let's say, The Little Mermaid, to Snow White, which is about to be coming out, and all the other times when they bastardize other cultures, bastardize other storylines, force things in? Why doesn't it matter there, but it matters here? And you know what I always got? I got, because there was diversity, here there's no diversity. It boils down to them caring more about race. They're just racist, guys. All these people coming out here are purely racist. Now, the boycotters are trying to go around and say that China's on their side, Japan's on their side. Look at these people, because they do have extensions into China and to all these people. They're utilizing, Chinese social media. They have the same campaign going on Chinese social media. I don't have the receipts for this, but I have been thoroughly informed that there's a bunch of, yes, the boycott's over there. They're getting downvoted and ignored because the reality is everybody's perfectly fine with what's going on. You have the boycotters trying to misrepresent what people are actually saying, mistranslate and say they're saying something else, when in reality, almost every Chinese player on their own social media, Japanese player over on Twitter, everybody who's actually in favor of this game and likes this game, takes one look at the boycotters and say, you guys are dumb. Because they don't see the world through this. This game was made with an Eastern mindset. This game was made to appease to Asian individuals and Asian players. So when you take that into account, they might be taking pieces and parts from other cultures for like clothing, for world design, for maybe areas for this other thing or like architecture, something like that. But it's set in a completely fake world with its own rules, its own universe, its own thing, and it's not real life. It's not reality. But again, these people think in forms of racism. They think race is all that matters. So when you take it to a more realistic world setting, as in Assassin's Creed Shadows, for example, and you point out all the failures over on Assassin's Creed Shadows, not just Yasuke, architecture, foliage, weaponry, armaments, dialogue, language, things like that, they don't have a problem with that because all they care about is race. All they care about is domination. All they care about is their ideology being front and center. And the sole fact that Hoyoverse isn't doing that is offensive to them, is hateful to them. That's why you have all the voice actors coming out here, making statements, siding with the boycotters, saying that it's all racist and awful, and Hoyoverse needs to make amends to push this stuff forward. But Hoyoverse doesn't care. Because the reality at the end of the day is who's actually playing the game. And we'll come over here to Legal Mindset. I pulled this up the first time I did this video. I'm pulling it up again. Something tells me the Hoyoverse boycott will be ineffective. And you just take a look at this. Genshin Impact player distribution by region. Here's a player distribution data by region in the past 5 years, being 100 has the most players. The people that play this game the most are Japan, South Korea, Philippines, Russia, Taiwan, Malaysia, Singapore, China, Hong Kong, Belarus, Myanmar, Vietnam. Then you get Ukraine, Thailand, Kazakhstan, Indonesia, Chile, Canada, Lithuania, Costa Rica, New Zealand. USA doesn't even show up on this list. Great Britain doesn't show up on this list. In reality, like, the only real Western countries that show up on this list are Canada. I don't think Hoyoverse cares one little bit about your boycott because you're not the player base. You're not the people that actually wants to be a part of this. You're not the people that actually want to participate in this game. People that want to play this game are Japanese, South Korean, Philippines. Those are your three biggest. They're shoveling out money like crazy because they like this game. They enjoy this game. They know that this game is more catered towards them. It's made by China, yes, but China's not even like the top players. Not one bit. Japan, South Korea, and Philippines are. They're getting their money. Why do they have to bend over backwards for you? Why do they have to freak out for you? They don't. You don't matter to them. You've never mattered to them. And they're getting money right now. They're seeing their profits increase. They're seeing, hey, if we keep catering to the people that actually like our games, we'll be doing just fine. We'll make money. We'll succeed. We don't have to kowtow to these freaks because they know how to do actual business. And this is what a lot of Western companies need to realize. This is what a lot of companies actually need to realize. If you cater to your actual customers, your core customers, give your core customers what they want, all the weirdos on the internet, all the Hoyoverse boycotters and all the freaks out there aren't gonna matter one little bit. They're not your core customer base. They don't matter. They might buy a lot of merchandise. They might ship out a lot of money, but they're insignificant to the amount of money you actually break in regards to your big core base. Keep catering to them. They like to ship out money. And it's always interesting to see this. And I'm going to take this in a little different direction. These freaks can't stage proper boycotts. Not once. Every time they try to stage a boycott, it fails. Why? They might have all this like force behind them and might be able to actually commit to this stuff, but they don't have any real impact. Most of them don't have money. Most of them don't really play the game. They'll find pirated versions of it. They'll get all sorts of other like things that don't actually help out the company itself. Heck, you come back over here and I'm going to scroll down. Like, this was what they were more worried about. Does this also mean that I also should stop getting those Genshin plushies from AliExpress too? Because I fully support this boycott and don't want to do something bad. You see, Hoyoverse boycott. Merchandise not by Hoyoverse are not targets of the boycott. They're still buying merch, but they're buying third-party merch. They're buying merch not from Hoyoverse because they're pirating. This is what they did in comics. This is what they do with movies. This is what they do with all sorts of content. They don't actually put money towards the brand. They take it from other people because they don't have a stake in the game. You've seen this with other boycotts as well, though. They couldn't boycott Hogwarts Legacy. They failed. They came out in full force to boycott Hogwarts Legacy. And what happened? That game was extremely successful, made a bunch of money, broke tons of records, should have been up there for Game Awards, didn't make it for whatever reason whatsoever, still had a bunch of their ideology in it, but oh my god, J.K. Rowling, bad, must boycott, and it failed. These people can't boycott properly. These people don't have money to boycott. They never paid in the first place. They're not buying anything worth value in the first place. They don't really increase the actual overall profit margins for Hoyoverse at all. So you guys are a necessary loss in their eyes. And your boycott is failing. You can say you're going to pump it up harder. You're going to go full forward. You're going to increase your boycott. Yeah, you might have 104,000 signatures. But at the end of the day, you're not the target audience, and you're not the people making the money. At the end of the day, this is just more proof that these people are 1, hypocritical, 2, racist, 3, don't realize how the real world works, and don't understand that the rest of the world views their ideology and their way of thinking as deplorable and disgusting. But hey, they don't matter and they're insignificant. But I'm going to leave it there. Let me get you guys' thoughts on all this down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it out, friends, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video go live. And I'll see you guys all on the next one. Bye for now.